Hello, my name is Jessica and welcome to my channel. So if you are new here, I am 32 years old. I was diagnosed with endometriosis and PCOS in 2017. We tried time intercourse with letrozole and IUIs and ultimately conceived successfully through IVF. For us, our first round worked. So we did one round of IVF. We did a fresh transfer in March of 2020, and that was successful. I know that is very rare, and we are extremely lucky that it worked on the first go, because some people do multiple cycles and never have success, or eventually they get success through many different transfers. And another thing to note would be that IVF costs completely differently worldwide. So every country is so different, which is such a shame. It comes down to drug pricing and then also genetic testing of the embryos prior to having a transfer. That increases your cost. And also if you have to do multiple rounds. So some people they'll say that their IVF say costs like $100,000 because they did multiple rounds of IVF and they probably did genetic testing. And then maybe they did like ERAs, which is like testing your lining and all that kind of stuff. I didn't do any of that. So I would have done that, but my clinic doesn't do it unless you've had multiple losses with them and within the clinic. So to let you know, the type of IVF that we did before I break down the costs would be, we did IVF with ICSI. And I'll insert a picture of what ICSI is for those who aren't aware, if you're not in the IVF world. Right now, we froze our embryos. We did not do genetic testing. I did do genetic testing when I was pregnant. And we did a fresh transfer, which is included in the cost with your first IVF round. So let's get on into it. I have my phone here with my notes and the cost breakdown here, so I don't get off topic or anything like that. Okay, so first would be at the start of my IVF cycle, I was put on birth control. We did have coverage through my husband's work for medications and that kind of prescription medication. Not for all of our drugs, I should say, but I think it cost me around $10. I didn't write it down even in my notes here because I'm not too sure, but yeah, I think we paid out of pocket about $10, which isn't bad, obviously, at all. Okay, and then we had to put down our first chunk of money for IVF in the beginning of February, even before I started my drugs. So our first big chunk of money was $8,300, which if you're somebody who spent a lot of money on IVF, doesn't sound like a lot, but yeah, $8,300 for the first go. So obviously that goes on the credit card. So we paid that February the 6th, $8,300. Oh, and then within that IVF cycle price, I don't know if I had said it before, so I might end up cutting this out, but that includes all the blood work, all the ultrasounds, which I actually didn't get many ultrasounds. I got ultrasounds during the process, but once I fell pregnant, or once I got pregnant, I didn't fall pregnant. Once I got pregnant, I didn't have any more ultrasounds through the clinic because they shut down due to COVID. I don't think I included anything else. I don't know what else included, to be honest. I don't really know, because the next cost is $700 the same day, which pays for 1 year of embryo storage and embryo cryopreservation. So that's the freezing of the embryos. Currently we have 5 frozen, which we hope to use them all one day. And I will document that journey whenever we get to it. The next cost would be my medication. So the first bit of medication on February 20th was $228.91. And then we ended up having a injection teaching with a nurse, which was pretty helpful. I'm really happy that we did that. And that was in our costs of the IVF cycle. So that was one of the things included, I guess. So then in that cycle, so what we originally had planned was that we were going to do just regular fertilization. So it's when they take those petri dishes, they put 1 egg in each dish and then a handful or a big chunk of washed sperm. So they wash the sperm so they get all the debris out and all the ones that are abnormal, and then it's done in a machine kind of thing, and then they would let the sperm fertilize the eggs normally, what would happen inside of you, but just in a dish. So that was our plan, because then we also would have figured out could I have not conceived all these years successfully because the wrong sperm was fertilizing the egg, or was there a issue with that? But then in our injection teaching with the nurse, we learned that if we didn't do, say if none of them fertilized, then they would do something called rescue ICSI. So like the next day, they would then take the sperm and inject it into the egg to save them, and it's not always successful. And then you can't do a fresh transfer, so you have to wait and do a frozen transfer. So we were like, oh crap, we don't want to risk losing any eggs, especially if I don't stimulate very well. So then we just decided in that go, we're like, okay, we're going to pay for ICSI. If we're paying thousands of dollars going into this already, we may as well pay the next chunk, which was done on February the 27th, which was $1,500 for ICSI. So I'm so happy that we did that because I didn't have high numbers for my eggs. I can't remember the exact number. I can put all my stats on the screen. But yeah, so I'm very happy that we ended up doing ICSI, even though we don't have male infertility at all. Like my husband has very good sperm. Yeah, I'm just happy that we did it. So some people maybe don't go the ICSI route, but it just wasn't worth losing any embryos in my personal opinion, because some people do end up with 0, and I wonder, did they do ICSI? You know, who knows? Okay, so then the next chunk of money would be on February the 28th, $288.51. So my clinic, they prescribe just a certain number of medication for like 4 to 5 days. Then you go for ultrasound and blood work, and then you come back, or after that blood work and ultrasound, they determine how many more days they want you to stim for, you know, and then you get prescribed more meds. And then I went just to their pharmacy in-house. It's just quicker and easier. And then that's why I have these like smaller chunks of paying for stuff. I guess I should also share like what drugs I was on. So I did Menopur, Gonal F, and Orgalutron. Orgalutron it stops your body from prematurely ovulating. And I'll also put on the screen like how much of each I did, because I have to look back on my information to see what I did. I can't remember right now. It's been well over a year. And so the next cost would be on March 1st, 2020, which was $529.70, which was the last chunk of money. And then the final cost, which didn't come till May 5th, 2020. So I was already pregnant at that point. My husband is with our son right now, just so you know. So the final cost, like I said, was $650. Maybe I didn't say it, maybe I just said the date, but yeah, it was $650, and that was the NIPT test. So we did not do, like I mentioned earlier, genetic testing, but we did do genetic testing of our embryo, or of our baby, the day, or when I was pregnant. It did take some time because I was like right at the like height of COVID. So they send my blood sample to California. I did the Harmony NIPT test, and then I can also put on the screen like just my results there with personal information blocked out. But yeah, it was great. I was so nervous. It took so long. Normally, I think they say it takes like a couple of days to get your results. It took 3 weeks. And then the lady at PCRM, which is the clinic we went through, they have 2 locations, one in BC, one in Alberta here. The BC location is the one that deals with the genetic testing. So she called me like and was so excited. I tried screen recording, it messed up, whatever. But she was like just as excited for me, which was so cool. And that's when I found out we were having a boy, which is really exciting. I was like, I knew it. I had a dream. Okay, and so I put down like a little question, like what could possibly increase the cost of IVF, which I mentioned earlier, which would be genetic testing, and if you have to do a lot of rounds of IVF. And then how much did insurance cover? Did we have insurance? So I did have some insurance through my work. We have Sun Life insurance. My husband's have Manulife, and he works for a bigger company than my company, and they have 0 fertility coverage, which is really a shame. And then with my work, they covered drugs a little bit, and they covered $2,400. So to some people, that's like nothing. And to other people, they would think like, oh my gosh, it's so amazing. I'm on the side of that's so amazing, because I was so shocked. I didn't think I was going to get any. I went into IVF fully expecting we were going to pay completely out of pocket. And yeah, it was amazing. And then another thing would be, how did we even pay for IVF? Like, how did we even get this money? So we used to do like a network marketing type of business. So we learned pretty good principles from that. We don't do it anymore. Not really into that personally in my life. And I don't shame anyone for doing that. Like, you got to do what's best for you and your family. But we learned really great principles on how to like pay off our debt and save money. So we are debt free, and we have like older cars. We don't buy anything that we have to make payments on in general in our life. And then we just saved lots of money. We never ate out. We didn't really do much. We saved money when we wanted to do stuff. And then, yeah, it was just, we really just saved our butts off to pay for it, because once we knew once we were starting to go down that infertility journey, we're like, hey, we got to start saving money. We do have a line of credit that's like sitting in our bank that we've used previously in the past for something, but we kept that just in case we had to use it, but we never had to use it, thank goodness. And our plan was, if our first cycle didn't work, that we were going to take some time off, relax, and then save the money, because we didn't want to go into debt, which I don't put anyone down for going to debt for going to doing IVF, because with your fertility, there is a timeline. So sometimes you do have to take out that loan and pay it off in order to have that baby. So if you are someone who's having to do that, my thoughts and prayers go out to you, and you just got to do what's best for you and your family, but you have to have peace with it. So don't do something that's going to cause you more stress in your infertility journey through IVF, like the money stuff, right? You just, got to do what's best for you. Okay, so total for IVF, we paid $12,196.42. which is a lot. But also, I can also see it not being a lot. Like, we thought we spent like $20,000 on IVF. So it was really confronting in like a good way when we decided to add everything up and be like, wow, we didn't actually pay as much. And it wouldn't have been that stressful to try to save for more. And I get it. Some people, like I said, it will cost a lot of money, way more. And we were very blessed, very lucky for it to have worked on the first go. In my clinic, I believe it's like $1,500 to do a frozen embryo transfer, which will be our next thing for trying for our next baby. That's just the breakdown of IVF. I was curious how much it costs. People generally don't like talking about money, and I get it, because there's like a thing about like, don't talk about your finances, but I really think there should be more transparency, especially when it comes to infertility, because you do feel like you're in it alone, and you feel like it's really hard to get information. Even when you go to the website of fertility clinics, it's like they're not very completely clear, although my clinic is clear. With meds, they put a range on their website because it's obviously different for everybody. Yeah, so with meds, it's completely different because everyone needs more or less, right? Like, we're all so different with how many meds we need with our IVF. But my clinic, is so open with the cost. So we knew kind of going in how much it could cost, and we just went for like the bulk end just in case. But interesting enough, I didn't overstimulate even having PCOS. So I think my endo kind of played a massive role there in the number of eggs we got. But yeah, if you like that video, if you are someone going through IVF, please comment below and let me know like where you're at in your journey, or if you conceived your babe through IVF, or if you're just maybe someone who is just watching just because you are wondering about IVF in general. If you find this interesting. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up so that I get suggested to other people here on YouTube. And if you like this video and watch any of my other videos, please consider subscribing if you haven't already. I would love for you to be a part of my channel. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you again, or you'll see me again in my next video. Bye guys, have a great day.